first time pushing a button?
It is indeed. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Titans, T-U-B-E, that spells tube, Titans Tube. This is the preview episode between the Tennessee Titans versus the Kansas City Chiefs upcoming game, Week 15 in the National Football League.
Yeah.
First off, what a year to be having to have to play the AFC West. Arguably the best division in football, and our whole division, arguably the worst division in football, gets matched up with them. I mean, no wonder they all have such good records. Am I right?
Thank you, NFL. Really helping us out.
This will be the Titans' last game against the AFC West opponents. So far, we are 1-2 over the course of this division. Our losses coming to Oakland and San Diego, but our first one coming off the defending Super Bowl champions last week, the Denver Broncos. We're turning around. We're playing the best team in the division right now, the Kansas City Chiefs, currently sitting at 10-3, playing Kansas City at Arrowhead. They're 5-1 at home this year. But let's break down into some of the team stats, overall team stats, see what we're dealing with.
How
about that? Justin, tell us what we're dealing with.
I'll give you the stats here, but take it with a grain of salt because it doesn't look like these stats are telling the story about this team. But on offense, we know they have a fairly conservative offense, an efficient offense, but right now they are 24th in the league in yards per game, 332 yards per game, 18th in passing, 25th in running. So on the defensive side of the ball, I bet you're wondering, well, they're probably tops in the league since they're 10-3. Wrong. Very wrong. They are 27th overall, giving up 374 yards per game, which 18th against the pass and 27th against the run. Also, bottom half of the league. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan watching this video, if you could explain to us why your stats are amongst the bottom half of the league, yet you're one of the best teams in the league at a 10-3 record, that would help us out. We're a little confused as to why that is. However, I love seeing that 27th against the run because that is our strength as the Titans.
Indeed. Looking at their last 5 games, they're actually pretty hot. They're 4-1 over that stretch with very strong wins, coming off a 3-game win streak over Denver, Oakland, and Atlanta, some of the top teams in the NFL. Based on the overall stats, it's kind of hard to see how they're winning, but I believe this team has intangibles. And let's not forget the head man himself, the Muffin Man, Andy Reid at the helm, a knowledgeable coach.
Jolly old fella.
Been at it for years, solid guy, and he is leading them once again to another playoff berth. Let's get straight into the breakdown, position by position. What say you?
I say yay. Go for it.
So at quarterback for the Chiefs, we got the very generically named Alex Smith. Former first-round pick overall in the draft, but he's now in his 12th season in the league, and honestly, his play is pretty generic as well. By now, pretty much everyone knows the ins and outs of Alex Smith. You know his strengths and his weaknesses almost to a T. He's not a huge playmaker, but he's an above-average game manager with surprising athleticism, and he knows how to win.
He had a lot of success when he played for the 49ers, and he's kind of doing the same thing with Kansas City.
He's kind of slightly above your average Joe of quarterbacks in the league, and his stats kind of say the same. He's currently only averaging around 225 yards a game. He's got 12 TDs on the season to 5 interceptions.
He takes care of the ball, and he's just efficient, and he makes plays for that offense when they need him to.
Yeah, he's kind of like the ultimate teacher's pet because he does exactly what you need him to do and what a coach wants him to do perfectly. And you complement him with a balanced offense and a really strong defense, and all of a sudden you got a 10-3 Alex Smith-led Chiefs.
Yeah,
surprising.
Not bad, Alex Smith. But on the Titan side of the football, we have a developing, wonderfully beautiful quarterback named Marcus Mariota. He, at the beginning of the season, I was hearing a lot of experts and analysts comparing him to an Alex Smith, and that's all that Mariota was going to be, just an efficient game manager. I think he's proven that wrong this year, though. He has shown that he has a very high ceiling, and I don't think he's even reached his complete potential yet. If you watched the Denver game last week, that was a very much an Alex Smith type performance, I think. He took care of the ball. maybe even a worse. I mean, Mariota threw for 88 yards, which is bad, or not a lot for any quarterback. I don't care what kind of a game manager you are, but it was a sort of more like an Alex Smith type of game. Point being, Mariota has a very high ceiling. He's got a skill set that Alex Smith won't ever have. So I think if we're going to compare these guys, compare who has the advantage here, I still think we got to go with our boy Mariota. He has 25 touchdowns to 8 interceptions.
If you were going to compare them, I would compare them to how they relate to the rest of their team and how their team wins, because neither team relies on either one to really make game-breaking, huge plays for the team to be successful. They rely on them to make smart plays, the right plays, and really mistake-free, efficient football. And when that happens, the team succeeds. So if you're going to compare them, I guess, in the way they relate to the team's success. But if you're looking at, individual talent, I think by far Mariota is the better QB. I think his stats show that this year. No, not in the last game, but overall, I think the stats show this year, and I think his ceiling is much higher than Alex Smith's ceiling.
Yeah.
So I think Mariota gets the advantage.
I agree. I think we got the better, more skilled quarterback coming into this matchup.
Check that mark. Once again, this week, the Titans are playing another team who have kind of been decimated at injuries with their starting running back. This week, the Chiefs have been without scintillating back Jamal Charles for most of the year. But at the same time, they have very capable reserves that they've utilized over the course of years. But let's be thankful that we don't have to face Sir Charles this week. Without him, their main back is where?
He's probably in Kansas City, trying to get ready for the game.
What are you talking about?
You asked where their main back was.
No, I said their main back is where.
Exactly, he's at Arrowhead. The game is in Arrowhead, so he's in Kansas City.
No, I'm not talking about his location. I said he is where.
He is in Kansas. What are you talking about?
Like, his name is where?
It's on the back of his jersey, probably. It's the standard of the NFL.
No, his name. His first name is Spencer. His last name is Ware.
Oh,
Spencer Ware.
Spencer Ware.
Spencer Ware.
Okay.
They're starting running back now.
Duh.
Spencer Ware is who we're going to be facing as their starting running back, and he's almost to 800 yards on the year.
Pretty good.
Averages 65 a game. Not something we have to be too threatened about, but he can get the job done. And they have a very, very capable number 2 in Sharkandrick West. I'm sure you've heard that name before. 1, because it's awesome. 2, because he's been playing for a few years and producing for them. So that's going to kind of be their number 1, number 2 this week.
And it helps him that he plays in the AFC West. Probably an advantage there.
Oh, yes. Sharkandrick West, AFC West. Good point. But kind of like Alex Smith, neither of these players are really game breakers, to use that word again. But they're very efficient players. They get the job done and do what Andy Reid and that offense need them to do. So we got to watch out for that. Hand me over that dead horse, Carpus.
Seriously. More dead horses to beat. Not a Broncos joke. Because we keep talking about our running backs in every comparison. Since our rushing attack is so good, we don't play the Bills, we don't play the Cowboys. Their rushing attacks are on par, maybe better than ours. So we always give our running backs the advantage. I especially think we should this week because DeMarco Murray looked fantastic against the Broncos last week. It looks like he's getting over that toe injury. Had 92 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry looking good and powerful again last week against the Broncos. He had 45 yards himself. So we got the 1-2 punch that has been working well. And if we mixed it up as well as we did against the Broncos, I think Kansas City's going to have trouble kind of stopping them. They're missing an important player on that defense too, which we'll get to in a minute. But I think the Titans definitely have the advantage in terms of running back skill.
We got the 3rd overall rushing attack in the league with the number 2 rusher on our team. I think, obviously, advantage lies with us here. Mm-hmm. Go Titans.
Yeah.
On to the wide receivers. This is where it starts to get scary. Which is kind of shocking because in the past few years, Kansas City wide receivers don't really scare many people because they don't throw to them. But this year is different, mainly due to the breakout stardom of Tyreek Hill, their rookie out of West Alabama.
Ooh.
Now, if you are thinking to yourself, oh, I may have heard that name before, it's probably because if you've been watching any Kansas City games recently, you've seen this dude in the end zone in multiple ways. Not only catching and rushing, but also on special teams. The dude is an absolute beast. I think he's hailed right now as the fastest man in the league. I know that's debatable, but a lot of people are saying that he's the guy.
He looks like it. But also, the Chiefs are getting back a very skilled and talented receiver in Jeremy Maclin, who has been out several games with a groin injury.
Groin.
He probably won't be at 100%, but he's still their top receiving option. He has been. He was last year. So we're definitely going to have to lock in on him too, because he can definitely kill us. He's an experienced receiver.
And with the emergence
great
of
career in Philadelphia before coming to the
I was
Chiefs.
gonna say, with the emergence of Tyreek Hill, he might become more of a threat now that more eyes are focused on Mr. Tyreek.
Yeah, and also we cannot forget, maybe if there is a more threatening player on that Chiefs offense than Tyreek Hill, it is their tight end, pass-catching dynamo, Travis Kelce, who already has 916 yards on 70 receptions. That is some massive production for a tight end. He's going to break 1,000 yards, which is rare for a tight end. We know how the Titans' defense plays against tight ends. We got burned by Jack Doyle, the likes of him, so...
If we can get burned by Jack Doyle, then Travis Kelce can for sure burn us for a few yards.
Yeah, he may have a heyday against us, so we definitely have to lock in on Travis Kelce, a very skilled tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
On to the Titans receivers. We struggled last game against the Broncos. Obviously, we only completed 6 passes, so a lot of our our receivers didn't have that many catches. No one had over 6 catches. No one had over 2 catches. Yeah. But that hasn't been obviously the trend over the course of the year. We've had a very balanced attack at wide receiver. Hoping to get Kendall Wright back this week, which could help. We could have used him last week against the Broncos, but he was benched due to some tardiness. I'm expecting him to come back and turn it around this game. He's got a very good skill set getting open in the slot. Rashard Matthews has been on fire again. I know he only had 1 catch last week, but it was a huge clutch catch. And let's not forget the beast himself, Mr. Delaney Walker. I know we were giving Travis Kelce props for probably being maybe the best tight end in the league, but Delaney's right up there, top 5. Oh my gosh.
I get allergic to bullcrap that you spill out of your mouth. Delaney's the best.
You know what? You can argue one way or the other. We know what Delaney's capable of, and he's a beast. Get him the ball, get him, and let him stiff arm people into the ground.
Love seeing that.
Other than that, Tajay Sharp's having a great rookie year. I don't know if we're going to start seeing him drop off as he hits that rookie wall, but
didn't have a catch last week.
Yeah. But, out of 6 catches, if he doesn't get 1, that's all right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have to give the advantage to Kansas City in this one.
Slight, for sure. I think both groups are slightly underwhelming in terms of the rest of the NFL, but I think Tyreek Hill is the one that turns the tide in favor of Kansas City, because the Titans don't have any players like that. If we punt to him once, I'm going to be furious.
Punt to him. All right, on to Casey's D. Now, I know their stats didn't tell the whole story because they got some playmakers back there in their personnel. Mm-hmm. But they just lost their top tackler and star linebacker, Derek Johnson, to a ruptured Achilles.
Man.
Which, it hurts me even saying that.
Ruptured. That word ruptured is like,
just say
painful.
Like torn. Torn sounds better. But ruptured, like they just like explode in his foot. I don't know.
Exploded Achilles.
But yeah, so that's not good for him. That is good for the Titans. But besides, they got plenty of other players just to pick up the pace. They just got Justin Houston back a few games ago. He's only played 4 games, but he's already got 4.5 sacks. The guy is a Von Miller, Khalil Mack-esque type linebacker, a great edge pass rusher that Taylor Lewan and Jack Conklin are going to have another day against facing one of these guys. It doesn't just stop with Justin Houston. Their next guy, D Ford, has double-digit sacks already. They got another solid defensive, a linebacker, pass rusher, Tamba Hall-Lee. They got Don Terry Poe on the front line. They have very, very strong front 7, especially their linebacking core. You start getting into their secondary, it gets even more scary. Marcus Peters, top cornerback in the league, already got 5 interceptions on the year. Safety, Eric Berry. the man himself. He's got 3 interceptions on the year, but 2 of those have been returned for touchdowns. And not included in that is his 99-yard pick 2. These guys are playmakers, big-time playmakers who, when they force turnovers, and then they know what to do when they force turnovers. They take it to the house.
I just want to say I love Eric Berry. I love the way he plays. I wish he was on the Titans, man.
It's not the type of defense that kind of like bottles you up every play, but it's the type of defense that makes big plays for their team. You know, they're not going to shut you down on every single drive, but they're gonna make up for the ground they give by making plays, forcing turnovers, getting sacks, and pretty much changing the course of game with those big plays. So gotta watch out for that.
On the Titans side of the defense, they are coming off the best game that they've played this year. Our defense is coming off recovering their first 2 fumbles of the year.
These weren't just giveaways, these were takeaways.
Yeah.
Boy.
Our duo pass rushers are not as good as Kansas City's, but they're pretty dang good. We got Brian Arakpo coming off one side and Derek Morgan blitzing from the other side. Combined, Brian Arakpo with 10 sacks versus Derek Morgan's 9 sacks. That's 19 sacks between our 2 edge rushers.
Which is the best in the league for a linebacker duo.
Yep, tops. Confidence is riding high. Our secondary, I know that they made some plays and really helped us in our win last week against the Broncos, but they're still, of course, a question mark. The only good thing is that Kansas City doesn't have the receiving skills that Denver has. We should be getting Jarrell Casey back, too, on that front 7, so that'll be a huge addition for our team. Overall, you've got to give the advantage, I think, to Kansas City's defense.
I think, once again, our defense is going to make Kansas City one-dimensional with our run-stopping defense. I think we're going to make them one-dimensional, and I think we're going to have to make Alex Smith throw a lot. We made Trevor Siemian throw over 50 times. I like our chances if we can make Alex Smith throw up in the 40s and 50s amount of time because he's not that good of a passer. And I think that's what we're going to do. And I think we're going to take the win. Another low-scoring one, 17-14.
Yeah, the key is going to be getting our running game going and making their offense one-dimensional. Just like you said, if we could force Alex Smith into some turnovers, that would be huge. Turnovers are, again, I think, going to be the story in this game, whoever wins that battle. I think it's going to be another tough, low-scoring defensive struggle. I think we're going to get this one, though, 20-16. If you're a Kansas City fan watching this, mad that we didn't
we're biased, bro. We're biased.
We're totally biased. We don't care. We'd pick them against the 16-0 Patriots in 2007.
As you know, our predictions mean nothing. What matters is Madden. But even then, Madden was actually wrong last week because we lost to Denver. Yeah, we were rusty off the bye week, and we failed to beat the Denver Broncos. Luckily, the real-life Titans did not do that. So, let's go see how we face off against the virtual Kansas City Chiefs. What say you?
I say, yay again.
Let's do it. Boom! Go. Woo. In the right. Turn that shit over. Block, bro. Shit. Oh, the more